Hello, you are here means you want to learn statistics. You are trying to understand statistics. Basically, this video series of videos, we are trying to understand, explore on the basic concepts of statistics to learn data science. Basically, so let's start. My name is Savyasachi. So, if you are well aware of statistics or in specifically in this video I am going to discuss about regression analysis as some set of next videos also we will talk about regression analysis. Simple linear regression analysis, multiple linear regression analysis, and non-linear logistic regression analysis. So if you are well aware of these things and you are okay with the concepts, then you can skip these videos and you can jump into other. So in our previous discussions we learned about hypothesis testing, ANOVA, and some other basic concepts, F distribution, and how we will do the hypothesis testing basically, and simple probability concepts, some of the concepts. So in this video we will talk about more about what is meant by regression, linear regression. So what exactly we are going to achieve in coming 5 or 4 sessions, basically videos. Let's imagine, first we will discuss about one real world scenario so that we can map that into our actual problem, regression analysis, linear regression analysis. Okay, so basically in data science or statistics deals with data basically. So when you are given some set of data, then we need to identify what is that data, basically what is that data is speaking. Let's imagine I will explain one example. This example we will discuss about entire this completion of linear regression. So multiple linear regression, simple linear regression, as well as other points. We will use this same sample. For example, you are given some set of data. That set of data contains population or sample contains one is income data, and second one is investment, for example. So you have 6 members. Income you have monthly, as well as how they are spending their income in investment. For example, one person income is 100 rupees, that person investing 10 rupees on a monthly basis, and another person income is 50 rupees, he or she investing some XY amount. Okay, so this is our data, sample data basically. So if you observe clearly, the main point here is in statistics or data science, whenever we are given or when you are dealing with solving some problems, or you are trying to analyze the data, or you want to take some decisions or predict the future, you should use some graphs basically. So especially in this linear regression, simple linear regression or multiple linear regression, all these regressions, first point is we will try to use scatter plots. Scatter plots is in y and x we will plot all the data points, and we will see how the data scattered in that basic area in our graph basically. So if that graph looks like after seeing that scatter plot, if you are able to see any line, if you can draw a line between these data points, if you can draw any line between these data points, that means you have some linear relationship between these two attributes, income and investment basically. So for example, let's consider we have some set of data, this in xy direction. For example, if we have some set of data like this, okay, and let me draw some other graphs also. So we have four kind of data. Let's imagine we have some data, 4 samples, and we are plotted those 4 samples in our scatter plot. Then we are seeing this kind of graphs. So if you observe the first graph showing, we can clearly see there is a and B. If the data are A and B, if we can clearly see there is some line, we can draw some line between these data points, right? So in this case, in first case, we can say those both A and B have stronger linear relationship with positive slope. So it is moving upward. Okay, so this is very strong linear relationship with positive slope. If you consider the second graph, we can clearly see the data points are distributed, occupied much space compared to this one. Okay, so here we can see more lines we can draw basically, right? So we will say in this case there is a weak linear relationship with positive scope. In both cases the graph looks line is moving upwards, that means positive scope, but in this case very strong linear relationship, in this case weak linear relationship. If you see this, in this case the data plots going downwards basically. So here also we can say there is a strong linear relationship between these data with negative slope. In this case positive, in this case negative slope. If you see here, weak linear relationship with negative slope, we are calling it as negative because our data points, when you are drawing some line, when you are finding equation of these lines are showing downwards movement, where in this first and two case those are upwards. So here we will say this is strong linear relationship between these two data with positive slope. Here weak linear relationship with positive slope. In this case strong linear relationship with negative slope, weak linear relationship with negative slope. So first of all, in any case, I'll try to plot our data, given data in scatter plot, so that we can conclude, by seeing these graphs itself we can identify how our data looks like, whether what kind of relationship these are having basically. So now again coming back to our example, income as well as investment, right? Income as well as investment. So we have this set of data. Then the second main important point is we need to segregate the data basically into what is what basically. If you clearly understand, in our case income is one attribute that exposing or that determining the investment value. For example, if you are earning, your income is 100 rupees, then you can invest 0 to 100 rupees, right? That means without income there is no investment, right? Without income there is no investment. That means investment is depending on income. Investment is depending on your income. That means we can say clearly, we can identify clearly, your income value is independent variable. Your income value is what? Independent variable. Then we have another value attribute, that is investment, right? That investment is depending on our independent variable income. That means we can call our income values as dependent variable. Okay, so now I hope you understood clearly the difference between dependent and independent. When independent variables can expose dependent variables basically. So whenever we are dealing with analysis or some set of data, first we need to identify what are the independent variables and what are the dependent variables, so that we can come with some proper estimations or proper decisions basically. So in our case, the basic question is, for example, you are given 100 people of set of people income as well as investment on monthly basis, for example. So by using our regression analysis, we are going to answer or predict, we are going to predict the value of dependent variable for given random independent variable. That is what our target basically. And our regression analysis target is basically, we are trying to predict the value of dependent variable for given random independent variable. That means in our case we will represent our x values. In x values we will represent your income, 100 rupees, 200, 300, whatever it may be. This is income value, income. So in our y we will predict the value of y for a given x value. This is our investment. So for example, you are given 200 as income, then we are trying to predict the value of y. So like this, right? So if you observe here, this is our data point, x 200 y, right? So this prediction, we are predicting this value, and our regression analysis will identify this value. You should understand, we are not only identifying this value, always it is very difficult to identify the actual value, but we will say our regression analysis will identify what is the upper limit and lower limit of our predicted value, basically. So this is our, if you move the direction of this graph, this is our predicted value. Okay, so this is lower limit and our upper limit. So this is the value we are going to predict. So there is a chance of occurring in this between lower and upper limits. Basically, our regression analysis identify these two values as well as this value. We will predict the y value. In our case, if you are given some income value, we are going to predict our investment value for that given x value, random x value. Okay, so in algebra we already know the equation of line, right? Equation of line, what is y equals to mx plus b, y equals to mx plus b, where m is the slope of line, where x is the random variable of this value, where b is the interception, where exactly intercepting the x. So this equation we will use in our regression analysis basically. For example, in our case we are predicting y value, that is our investment. There are notations of this prediction value can be vary from person to person. So this is what we are going to predict. In this case, what we will say, beta 0 plus beta 1 x. Okay, this is almost same as y equals to mx plus b. Okay, where mx plus b, y predicted value equals to beta 0 plus beta 1 x, where beta 1 is the slope of regression line, beta 1 is the slope of regression line, beta 0 is the intercept of the regression line on the y axis, beta 0 is the interception of the line on y axis, beta 1 is the slope of the regression line, beta 1 is the slope of the regression line. So this x is our random variable of income in this case, in our example. If you observe, if for example if our beta 1 value, let's consider beta 1 equals to 0, then if you give any random income variable, we always get a straight line. This is straight line equation when beta 1 equals to 0. When beta 1 is positive, then we will get this kind of graph, that is positive slope, strong linear positive slope, right? When our beta 1 is negative, then we will get this kind of linear equation, line equation, basically linear regression equation. We will get this kind of linear regression equation. So I hope you understand how we are moving from y equals to mx plus b to this kind of things. So this is the value we are going to predict. In our case, we are going to predict our income value. We are given for a given random x value, whereas x is our random income value. Okay, so now we know what is the objective of regression analysis. The objective of regression analysis, or why we are trying to understand regression analysis, is to predict the dependent variable from given random independent variable. That means if you are given some random income value, you are going to predict the investment value of that person. For that reason, we identified what are our independent variable, what is my dependent variable, and we will plot given data into scatter plots so that we can know whether that both income and investment has a linear relationship, correlation, whether the data looks like, whether we can identify by seeing linear relationship or not, linear kind of correlation is there or not.